Hello, everyone. I'm 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗅𝗔𝗜𝗠𝗘𝗥, head football coach here at the University of Arkansas at Monticello. Very excited about today, 2024, National Signing Day, and it was a great day for Weevil football. A lot of things that we have to go through, a lot of great players we're going to talk about. Originally, when the process started for our high school recruiting, you always set a goal of the amount of guys that you're trying to sign. And it never fails. It hasn't failed in a year that I've been here. We end up signing more guys, and that's a good thing. When we go out and we start recruiting and we come across different players late in the process, you never want to pass on a good football player that wants to be part of your program. So we ended up signing a little bit more than what we were expecting, but like I said, it's a really good thing. I need to start off first by saying the effort that our coaches put out for recruiting was amazing. We had a really busy mid-year signing process. We signed several mid-year guys, a couple portal guys that we're very excited about, guys that are already in the system, getting acclimated in our program in off-season. And then we moved from that phase into high school. And our coaches, again, tremendous job. Every one of them brought so much to the table. Very proud of Dallas Pruitt. Not only does he coach my offensive line, but he's also our recruiting coordinator, handles our operations as well for football, and he did a great job of setting up all of our visits. We do visits a little bit different. I guess since COVID, we tried some things that we felt were going to be more productive for us. A few years back, we would do the weekends where we'd have 30, 40 people here for weekends as far as recruits. Probably 100 people total when you look at the parents or family members that would attend. And all those were really good. We just felt like if we could bring them in during the week, starting on Monday nights, and their visits would start on Tuesday. They would stay a night on Tuesday and the visit Wednesday, all the way through the weekend on Saturday. We did this. Some occasions we'd have 2 recruits here for a day. Some we'd have 9 or 10. We ended up probably bringing in 70 or a little bit less for visits, and we ended up signing 42. So that number was really good, but we just felt like the system that we use is very efficient for us. It can be long. I know our coaches become tired, but their energy stayed up, and I'm so proud of everything that they did. Because like I said, I think we have a great signing class, and I'm very, very proud of our coaches and our staff for everything they do, in particular to the athletic department as well. They work so hard to help us out in all of our sports, but I'm very, very grateful for our athletic department staff as well. I do want to mention also, the last couple months, we've had a couple people that are dear to our program, dear to athletics, dear to our university, Ms. Beth Maxwell and Mr. Reginald Glover, 2 people that just loved UAM, loved the city of Monticello, and we're going to miss them dearly. But their spirits will always be with us, and we will always keep their spirits alive. There are a few things that I do want to talk about in regards to some other things that we have happening. Right now with off-season, we're so excited to be able to use our new weight room and training room. It has been really, really great for football. The amount of guys that we're able to get into the weight room together, that's something in the past that we haven't been able to do. And you can already see that things are really paying off. Our nutrition center, some of the things that we do there, some of the improvements we made in the nutrition center to get some of these gains with some of our athletes here, and it's been terrific. It's been awesome, and it doesn't stop there. We have the renovation of our locker room that's going to be starting here soon. It'll be done before we get back in August. And then there's several other things that we're doing as well, but these are things that are paying off. It helped us out tremendously in the recruiting part. When we talk to these young men, we know that facilities are a big part of the recruiting process. We always talk about depth in the recruiting process, and these guys could see that we have some things going here that are going to help us to be successful. And so we're looking forward to when those things are complete as well. In regards to spring football, we're fixing to start March 6th. That's going to be the first day of spring ball. We get to have 15 practices during spring. We'll have a couple of scrimmages, Saturday scrimmages, that are really, really important, especially with some of the new faces that we have. We really need to see these guys in game type situations, and that's going to be really big for us. And then we'll end spring ball on April the 11th. It'll be at 6 p.m. here at our stadium. So we're looking forward to that, but we're looking, all as coaches, we're really, really excited about where we're going into spring and seeing new faces and trying to figure out where we're at. And so very, very excited and looking forward to that to start on March the 6th. And you're anybody that wants to come watch practice, you're invited. We'd love to have you. Love to visit with you. But hopefully we'll have great weather and some of that cold weather will be gone before we start. I appreciate your patience moving forward. I'm going to go into a little bit of a breakdown of what we did in recruiting. Again, you start off recruiting and you have an idea of what you want to do, and it wasn't any different this year. You know, we had certain goals that we wanted to meet offensively and defensively, and I will say that, you know, when you start looking at your O-line and D-line, those are two positions that you need to really go out and get some numbers to make it really competitive. You know, the game of football is very, very physical. We've experienced that here in the last 2 years, and we knew that we need to go out and get some young guys that we can grow, possibly redshirt, and they could be in our program for a long time. And I think that we did a great job of doing that. The O-line and D-line, like I said, are two positions that your numbers are going to be a little bit bigger than the other positions. But all in all, felt really good about it. And offensively, we ended up signing 4 quarterbacks, and there's one in particular that we think we're going to probably end up moving. That's an athlete, but very excited about the quarterbacks that we signed, 3 running backs that we signed. We were able to sign 5 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and we ended up signing 10 offensive linemen. On the defensive side of the football, we ended up signing 6 defensive linemen, 5 linebackers, and then 5 defensive backs. Those were also some numbers when we got our mid-year guys, too, that we needed to make sure we got the depth that we needed and the competition that we needed, and I think we achieved that, not only at the mid-year guys, but definitely with our high school. And then also we ended up signing a kicker and a couple athletes. Again, all in all, the numbers were at 42, a great number. Going to go through these. I'm not going to try to rush through as best not rush at all, but we got to get through all these great new additions to our football program that we're excited about. I will say this before going into the first one. If you look at how we broke down this year in regards to our footprint for our recruiting process this year, I was excited about the number that we were able to get out of the state of Arkansas. You'll see there were couple of schools where we got multiple guys from. Sometimes that happens that way, and that's okay when it does. But the fact that we were able to, of the 42, half of our guys came from the state of Arkansas. That's a great thing. And I think that has a lot to do with where we're headed facility-wise and them getting on campus and seeing how beautiful our campus is. So I think that's been a big plus for us. We ended up getting 1 out of the state of Alabama, 10 from the state of Texas, and then 10 from the state of Louisiana. So, again, it was a great breakdown. Very, very excited about that. We always want to, continue to reach out to make our footprint big for the state, not only in the state of Arkansas, but, the surrounding states. And I think we accomplished that this year in our recruiting, and look forward to these guys being here. But what I'll do now is I'll go straight into the guys that we've signed. And I'll give their name, the position they play, the high school, and the hometown, and height and weight. Might say a little bit about each, but like I said, we got 42 that we got to go through, and I know that when we have this final product, Ryan Tao, he's going to do a great job of putting this together, and I think you're going to be really, really pleased with how it looks. Our first signee of the 2024 class, Haven Adams, offensive lineman from Camden Fairview High School in Camden, Arkansas. 6'4", 330 pounds. He's a 2-year letterman on the football team. You'll notice we got several guys from Camden Fairview. Got one of our former Boll Weevils there, Christian Jefferson, but really excited about Haven. Second, Braden Allen is quarterback from Lone Oak High School in Lone Oak, Arkansas, 6'2", 195 pounds. 2-time All-State, 2-time All-Conference, very, very athletic quarterback. Excited about him. Next up, Evan Beeler is a wide receiver from Monticello High School here in Monticello, Arkansas, 5'9", 155 pounds, 2-time All-Conference. Real hard-working young man. Really excited about Evan and our other young men that's coming from Monticello to our football program. It's always great when you get local guys that want to stay close to home. That's a big plus for us. Next up, John Bishop, offensive lineman, Monticello High School, Monticello, Arkansas, 6'4", 270 pounds, 3-year letterman. Got a lot of upside with John. Excited about him being part of our team. Next up, Brooks Bowman, quarterback, Monticello High School, Monticello, Arkansas, 6'2", 170 pounds. He was 2023 All-Conference. He ended up breaking a single-season passing yard record and touchdowns as well. Excited about Brooks. Been knowing this young man a long time, but excited about him being part of the Boll Weevils. Next up, Kennedy Breelove, defensive back, Emerson High School, McKinney, Texas, 6 foot, 165 pounds. He's a 2-time first-team All-District. Emerson was a school that we actually have our one of our junior-senior camps at that is really, really nice to be able to go to, nice facilities. Excited about Kennedy being part of our program. Maurice Brown, defensive back, Acadiana High School, Lafayette, Louisiana, 6 foot, 160 pounds. He was second-team All-District this past year. He is related to a former Boll Weevil, Jamal Nixon. Really excited about Maurice being part of our team. Next up, Justin Chapman, running back, Covington High School, Covington, Louisiana, 5'10", 185 pounds, physical back, 2-time All-Parish, 2-time All-District, 2-time All-State. Next up, Ethan Davidson, right down the road in Hamburg, Arkansas, from Hamburg High School, offensive lineman, 6'4", 290 pound, 3-year letterman, and he was an All-Conference selection in 2023. Next up, Jordan Davis, offensive lineman, St. Louis Catholic High School in Lake Charles, Louisiana, 6'3", 260 pounds, 2-time first-team All-District, 2-time All-Southwest Louisiana, and a first-team All-State selection this past year. Caleb Evans, defensive lineman, Sterlington High School, Sterlington, Louisiana, 6'3", 265 pounds, district MVP, and he was All-Parish second team this year. Excited about Caleb. Very dynamic player. Connor Ewell, offensive lineman, Monticello High School, Monticello, Arkansas, 6'1", 330 pounds, 3-year letterman. He's a 2023 All-State. He's also part of the powerlifting state championship team. Excited about Connor. Connor's a man of few words, but he's really excited about being part of Boll Weevil football team. Caden Glenn, he's an athlete from Hoxie High School, Hoxie, Arkansas, 5'11", 170 pounds, 3-time All-Conference. He's also All-State. You know, we've got the legend Cole Sears, Hall of Famer Cole Sears, that works for his dad up there at Hoxie High School, so we're excited to have Caden with us. Trey Gray. Trey comes from Seal, Alabama, Russell County High School, to be specific. Defensive back, 5'11", 160 pounds. All district second team this past season. Anytime you get a guy that comes from outside of the normal footprint to be part of UAM is exciting. So we're excited about Trey being here. Briggs Green, quarterback. Briggs he's excited about being part of it. He's got a great story to tell. 6'2", 195 pounds. He was all district, all state. one time in his career. Got to know him when we went to Dallas area for our camp. Comes from a great family. Really, really excited about him being part. Like I say, when you got guys that are coming from 8 or 9 hours away, that's a good thing, and we're excited about Briggs. Next up, Kent Griffin, defensive lineman, Arkansas High School, Texarkana, Arkansas, 6'3", 275 pounds. He was 2023 Co-D-Line Lineman of the Year for the All-City team. Really looking forward to Kent's being part of our program. Next up, again, young man from Hamburg, Arkansas, Jackson Grubb, offensive lineman, Hamburg High School, 6'2", 270 pounds. First team All-Conference, first team All-State. In 2022, he was Hamburg High School's Offensive Player of the Year. Really, really excited about Jackson. Again, local guy. Love him when they decide to stay close. Next up, Christian 𝗗𝗜𝗦𝗖𝗟𝗔𝗜𝗠𝗘𝗥, another young man from St. Louis Catholic High School, defensive back, wide receiver possibly, from Lake Charles, Louisiana, 6'4", 180 pounds. Christian was a basketball player, still is, and a really good athlete. He was a second-team All-District as a cornerback. Played in 11 football games in his entire life, but he's a good athlete, and we're excited about him and his growth in the sport of football. So I really feel excited about taking that chance because I think we're gonna get a real good one out of it. Next up, Michael Hart is a linebacker from Franklinton High School in Franklinton, Louisiana. 6 foot, 205 pounds, 3-year Letterman. Really, really good football in that region, that part of Louisiana. D'Amico Harvey, wide receiver, Randall High School in Richmond, Texas, 6'1", 185 pounds. He was a 2-time All-District player, real physical player. Really excited about what he brings to the table as a football player, more importantly as a person. Next young man comes from God's country, Thibodaux, Louisiana. Rashad Jackson's a linebacker, went to Thibodaux High School, 5'11", 205 pounds. 2023, he was a all-district selection. Next up, Malachi Kendrick, defensive back, another young man from Emerson High School in McKinney, Texas. 6 foot, 180 pounds. 2023 all-district selection. Really good football player. Excited about him as well. There's not any of them that I'm not excited about. I'm sure I'm getting a little redundant with that word, but it's good times right now. We're pumped. Next young man, Braden Kitchens, offensive lineman, Woodlawn High School out of Ryazan, Arkansas, 6'4", 230 pounds, all-conference, academic all-conference. He was also all-state. What I understand, he's a pretty decent basketball player. I think he'll tell you himself that he's pretty decent. But excited about him being part, again, another local guy staying close. It's great. Wade Laverne as a kicker, Lutheran South Academy out of Houston, Texas. 6 foot, 180 pounds, all-district honorable mention. Also in the National Honor Society. He's a 4-time honor roll student. Very, very excited about Wade. I think brings that competition that you need at the kicking position to make everybody better. So pumped up for Wade and us. Next up, Cody Loop, tight end, Bruley High School out of Bruley, Louisiana. 6'3", 225 pounds, 4-time All-District, 2023 All-State. Cody got on our radar from a former player of my dad, Eric Willits. Eric played for my father at Nichols. Called about Cody. Cody's a very athletic young man. His father's the head basketball coach there at Bruley. And comes from parents that are both educators, and he's going to be exciting. I'm excited about Cody and what he can bring to the table. Aiden Manley, defensive lineman, Pittsburgh High School, Pittsburgh, Texas, 6'4", 230 pounds, first team utility player, second team All-District, 2-time academic All-District. He was also academic All-State. He's going to be a big guy. And there were several schools, like several of our recruits, that were going after him, and he really stuck with us, and as did several other of our recruits, and really, really excited about him and his future. James Martin, running back, Bryan High School, Bryan, Arkansas, 5'10", 200 pounds, played for Coach Quad Sanders. Got a couple guys from Bryan here. James is going to be a a good one. 3-time All-Conference, 2-time All-State. You folks from Arkansas probably recognize him. He runs really, really mad, like he's mad at somebody. So, and that's a good quality to have at that position, but excited about James being here. Jalil Matthews, linebacker from Terrebonne High School out of Houma, Louisiana, 6 foot, 190 pounds, 2023 first team All-District, 2023 second team All-State. Really excited about Jalil. All these guys are going to be really big guys, especially when they get in them weight rooms and nutrition center over here for us. Next up, Chris McCoy, offensive lineman, Camden Fairview High School. Another one, Camden, Arkansas, 6'4", 320 pounds, 2-year letterman. Got player of the week twice during the season. Another big fella that's going to continue to grow and get better. Jackson Moore, defensive lineman, Sterlington High School in Sterlington, Louisiana, 6'1", 245 pounds, All-State honorable mention, district defensive MVP, second team All-Parish, young man that just loves the game of football and is going to have a great opportunity here. Next up, another one from Camden Fairview High School, Landon Morgan, offensive lineman, Camden, Arkansas, 6'1", 280 pounds, 3-year letterman. He was a 3-time first team All-Conference, All-State. He was also academic All-Conference and 2-time lineman of the year. Excited for Landon and for us. Next up, another young man from Emerson High School out of McKinney, Texas. Cameron Newburn's a wide receiver, 5'8", 160 pounds, 5A All-District. Very, very good route runner. Excited about him and his future here with us. Next up, Ethan Wynn, a wide receiver, Dobie High School, Houston, Texas, 5'10", 160 pounds, All-District. Also selected most improved player. Those last 2 wide receivers I just mentioned, Cameron and Ethan, both were at our camp. One was at the Dallas camp, one was at the Houston camp. So it was a good deal for us and them. Great opportunity. Next up, Luis Pena, linebacker, Nimitz High School, Irving, Texas, 6 foot, 205 pounds, team captain, and also 2023 second team All-District. Enjoyed his visit with him and his family. This is really, really important for him, and we're really, really excited about him being part of our program. Next young man, another one from Hamburg, Willis Robinson's a running back, Hamburg, Arkansas, 5'8", 170 pounds, 2-time All-Conference. I think Willis is going to be a young man that's going to really grow, get bigger and stronger, and have a really, really huge impact in his career here. But also excited about those local guys. Next up, Sean Rycraw, athlete, Bryan High School, Bryan, Arkansas, 6 foot, 180 pounds. Another one playing for Coach Sanders, who was a former coach of ours, 2-time All-Conference. Great personality. Looking forward. He's going to fit in really good here. Going to have a great career. Good player. Andrew Sanchez. He's a linebacker from Reedy High School in Frisco, Texas, 5'11", 205 pounds. He was a 2023 first-team All-District player. Him and Louise, I think, are going to be very similar type players, but very, very passionate players as well. Caleb Smith, defensive lineman, another one from Camden Fairview High School, another big guy, Camden, Arkansas, 6'2", 275 pounds. He was All-Conference as a football player, but he was also academic All-Conference as well. Next up, Tajon Tinsley, a wide receiver from the great city of Monticello, Arkansas, Monticello High School, 5'9", 150 pounds. First team All-Conference, guy that works hard and loves being part of a team. I got to watch him play a couple times, and he's exciting. He likes to get after it. Next young man, right down the road from Whitehall, Arkansas, Whitehall High School, Samaji Walker, offensive lineman, 6'5", 335 pounds, 2-time All-Conference, 2023 All-State. Next up, Nate Wall, quarterback, Arkansas High School. You remember we had another young man, defensive lineman from there as well, Texarkana, Arkansas, 5'11", 170 pounds, 2-time All-Conference, 2023 All-State, and to think about Nate. When we had our visit, he's like, I want to do whatever I can do to help this team, and he's a good enough athlete that can play a couple of positions. So love it when they're open-minded, and appreciate that from Nate. Next up, Kanye Williams is a defensive lineman, Sylvan Hills High School in Sherwood, Arkansas. 6'3", 215 pounds, very athletic, 3-year Letterman. Excited about him, and he's going to be a guy that's going to put a lot of weight on that frame. It's going to be very, very productive. But for us, I tell you, that group of young men that you just listened to, and obviously you're going to be able to see on the slideshow, it's exciting. Great personalities, guys that fit in, tough guys, some guys with chips on their shoulders, guys that maybe thought they were overlooked but fell in love with our university because our coaches did such a great job recruiting. But I'm really, really excited about where we're headed with this group. The amount of Arkansas guys that we were able to sign is big as well. But overall, I'm just excited about the ones that chose us. Not only did we choose them, but they chose us. So that's a big, big, big plus. We still have one signee left to go through. But her name is Estelle Newton-Jackson. Estelle is the daughter of one William Jackson and Shelby Jackson, two beautiful people and great parents. She's also the granddaughter of a former football player here, Mr. Greg Day. And she happens to be the granddaughter of the head football coach at UAM, which just happens to be me. And so people can think I'm corny because of that, but this is our first grandbaby, and she's beautiful, and I wanted everybody to be able to see her. So be it. Lastly, I do want to talk about something that is really dear to my heart before we get out of here. And I thought long and hard about this. This past recruiting season, if I must tell you, it was very, very interesting. Had a lot of things happening during the 3 or 4 weeks that we were doing recruiting weekends. And like I said earlier, without my coaching staff, I would be nothing. Those guys are everything to me. Just like my athletic staff is everything to me. The support we get from Dr. Doss is everything to me. But during this particular recruiting, we had a lot of things happen. We had a grandbaby. We had a friend of ours, Miss Phyllis Cox, who's fighting hard right now and recovering from surgery, and we're happy and grateful for that. But in this process, too, we lost somebody very special to my family. My nephew, my wife's nephew, Jordan Smith, was battling cancer. And we lost him a couple of weeks ago. And when those kind of things happen, you sort of step back and look at things. But I want to say something, and I want to direct this right to a particular person because Jordan meant the world to me and my wife. He's got a beautiful family, his wife Grace, and a son, Jordan Jr. and his son Thomas. Thomas is older. But when all this happened and we lost Jordan, it was one of those things that just struck home. Jordan and I would talk quite often, and he was a guy that was just a believer in worrying about the things that you can control. Don't worry about things out of your control. Just control the controllables. That's what he would say. And he would always have things to say to me when things wasn't very good. And I was always amazed just how tough this guy was and how positive he was and how he was going to beat this and he was going to win. And he never gave up. He never gave in. And I was so proud of him for that. And I was so taken back by Grace and her strength and her family and my wife's family, how just amazing these folks were. But I want to talk directly to Thomas. And Thomas, I want you to hear me out, buddy. Your dad was an unbelievable human being. He was a fighter. He was a warrior. He was a believer in his faith, deep down in his soul. You had an unreal man that will continue to be a role model to you, because people like me are not going to let you forget, because you won't anyways. Your dad touched so many people, touched so many hearts. He gave people hope, and that means a lot. And Thomas, when we signed these guys that I just talked about, these football players, because I know you're a huge sports fan. I know Alabama's your favorite team, but I'm hoping that you're going to want to come see your Uncle Hud play this year. But I will say, this class, Thomas, that we signed, were a bunch of warriors. They're a bunch of warriors, just like your daddy. They're a bunch of tough guys, just like your dad. They're a bunch of believers, just like your dad. They want to be successful, just like your dad. And that's a beautiful thing. This signing class, Thomas, we signed it in honor of your dad, because your dad meant a lot to me and your Aunt Patricia. I love your dad dearly, and I think about him often. But I want you to remember this, and you probably know it already, but these are his words. You have two choices when life gets tough. You could curl up in a ball, feeling sorry for yourself, wondering why the world hates you, or you can get back on your feet and fight back. That was your daddy's words. That's what your dad believes. I believe that's what you're going to believe. Grace, Thomas, you have a family here that believed in your husband and loved him very much. I appreciate everybody giving me time to talk about Jordan. We're really excited about this signing class. We're big believers in where we're going in the future and what we have to accomplish. And we're going to do it together as a team and as a family. We hope to see you during spring ball. Anytime you want to come visit, we'd love to sit down and talk about how great UAM is. Hope everybody has a great day, a great weekend. Keep pulling for the Weevils. Keep pulling for the Blossoms. UAM is moving in a great direction. Eat 'em up.